So I have this Dark Souls t-shirt. I actually don't really like Dark Souls. I got given it years and years ago, but it's very appropriate for this video. Hey guys, my name's Codename Big Bear, or Stu if you want to call me by my first name. Today we are going to be talking about, well, games you should like if you like Dark Souls. Maintenance! Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, put comments in the comments box below. We really want to know what you guys think of our videos. We want to improve as much as we possibly can. So by doing that, it really helps us do that, I suppose. But I'm going to break it down into categories. I'm going to break it down into atmosphere, lore, how hard the game is, and of course combat. So games like Dark Souls and Bloodborne have actually been touted as the hardest games. I found it very difficult when I was first playing Dark Souls, the original game that is. I got killed by the first skeleton I found pretty much over and over again. Then that big beast fell out of the chamber and he just hit me out, and I just didn't like it. Wasn't enjoying the game. Couldn't really get my grips around the buttons and the combat, and I thought the game was pretty ugly, to be fair. I'm sorry for Dark Souls fans out there, but I do think those games aren't very good looking at all. But that's my opinion. Let's have a little focus on those categories that I mentioned a second ago. Because if you do like Dark Souls, as I said, you should enjoy these games for these particular bits. But there are people out there that enjoy these games, well, for certain things. You know, some people out there don't care about how the game looks or how the game acts, they just love the combat. Others don't care about the combat at all, just think, oh, it's just a tool to get through the game. I really love the atmosphere of this game, or I love the story of these games. So we're going to have to look at those themselves. Now, the first game. And the first thing we're going to look at is atmosphere, so why not? Let's have a look at that. So I'm actually going to couple the atmosphere with the lore a little bit here, because there are just a couple of games that, well, you can kind of just meld a few here and there as well. But the first game I'm going to talk about with atmosphere is actually the Metroid series, so Metroid Prime, Super Metroid, NES Metroid, that kind of thing as well. These games have amazing music in them. They really make you feel like you are isolated and alone on this planet in this world whilst you're fighting these hideous monsters on this alien planet where you've got to fight a flying pterodactyl robot man to kill a mother brain jellyfish thing. A Metroid, basically. You play as Samus, and you go from area to area, picking up new weapons as you go and upgrading your armor, because at the beginning of the game you do have it, but you lose it, so you have to replace it all and continue through the game and complete the game and get out of there. If you've never played these games, the Metroid games, well, at least Super Metroid and the original Metroid, are on the Switch if you have Nintendo Online. Just find the SNES and NES apps. You'll find them there easy enough. Metroid Prime, it's on the Wii, the GameCube, that kind of thing, so if you have those, go out and find them, I guess. But they are absolutely beautiful games. The music really helps build that atmosphere, but also the worlds themselves. They're usually kind of run-down planets or run-down areas that have secret laboratories in them, which just kind of adds to the eeriness and the weirdness of it, because you have things dripping from the ceiling and from the walls, and you have the scenery trying to kill you themselves, but then also you have the enemies, the bad guys that turn up, that one of them starts attacking you, and then when you kill it, it falls down, and then its skeleton starts attacking you. So it's just absolutely crazy, but you should definitely be playing the Metroid games if you enjoy the atmosphere of Dark Souls, Soulsborne, that type of thing. But to go from there to lore, this is actually what triggered this whole entire video. So Luke, hey Luke, how you doing? He actually asked me, was asking about the Castlevania collection, which is actually currently, I think, $7.99 on the Nintendo eShop, but usually it's 15 quid. It's definitely worth it. You get about 8 games in it. But he was asking about if they were any good or not. Now, I played these games way back when, and I love Castlevania. I think it's really good. They are quite difficult. They can be quite difficult because you've got NES levels of hard with SNES levels, so on and so forth. But the collection I'm talking about right now only goes up until the PlayStation 1 and the N64 era, so you have no 3D or Symphony for the Night. But Symphony for the Night is outstanding. outstanding, and everyone should be playing this game as well. But again, if you like the lore of things, I mean, this whole Castlevania series is all about Dracula and about those kind of monsters. In one of the three, in fact, in the 3D games on the N64, you got to fight Frankenstein's monster. But you also had to fight vampires. You also had to fight giant skeletons. But the background of it is you are playing part of the Belmont family. You have your trusty whip or your cross boomerang thing, and well, basically you've got to go and kill Alucard, right? And it's a really, really cool story. You know, it actually gets even more cooler as it goes along, as well as they progressed and got better with these games. You get games like Lords of Shadow, which overall, if you like all these things that we're talking about with Dark Souls today, you should really, 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 really play Lord of Shadows, at least the first game, with Robbie Coltrane? Nope, that's Hagrid. No, Robert Carlyle and Patrick Stewart doing voiceovers as well. You're playing one of the Belmont family, and you've got to try and save your lady love and help her get back to life using biblical weapons, I suppose. But it's a back and forth, it's very difficult, the combat is there as well, it's an amazing combat system actually, and it's just absolutely worth looking into. The Lords of Shadow games, in fact any Castlevania game in the whole lore setting. So combat in these games is something that I definitely struggled with. I really couldn't get my head around using the shoulder buttons on my Xbox at the time, and even now I still kind of struggle with it. But the closest game I've come to play that kind of has that controls was Assassin's Creed Origins. I flipping love Assassin's Creed Origins. It's an amazing game. I haven't played Odyssey yet, but I loved Origins. I sunk nearly 100 hours into that game, and it was just stunning to look at the entire way through. But the combat is something I did get used to, and actually made me feel like I should go back and play Dark Souls. I have done, still can't get my head around it. Just nope, still can't do it. But Assassin's Creed Origins has a really cool way to well, I say it has a cool way to introduce you into, you know, the tutorials are there, you know, it's a bit more hand-holdy than Dark Souls. It doesn't really kind of go, there you go, have fun. It goes, hang on, these are the buttons you got to use, work this out, here's how you use this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it has lots of tutorials, it's very much more hand-holdy in that way. But I really enjoyed being able to switch up those weapons and having different abilities and different things going through through the game. And when you get to the combat, the combat arenas, like the Colosseums, that type of thing, using those different weapons and forcing you to use certain weapons really helps throughout the rest of the game as well. But another game for decent combat as well, if you really enjoy that, is probably the Batman Arkham games, but that's been done to death at the moment, I suppose. So if you are tired of that, I wouldn't recommend that one. But you know, just find yourself a really cool combat heavy game. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Origins is just a fantastic game, really great story. The combat is there, it's really lovely to kind of, you can string along so many cool things. You can jump off a building, bow and arrow someone's head, and when you land you can slice someone up as you go as well, using that shoulder button mechanic. I personally really loved it, and it's a major change from the original Assassin's Creed games. If you don't like the original Assassin's Creed games with Ezio and Altair, well, give this a go. Bayek is a really interesting character, at least I think so anyway, and apparently Odyssey is the best game of them all as well, using a similar control scheme. So, Dark Souls, Soulsborne is all very difficult games, yeah, or they're perceived as very difficult games. You know, they're difficult but fair. So I've got a few choices for this category of how hard the game is, that kind of thing. There's one that I'm going to straight up is the choice I think everyone should have, because you know, if you are patient enough with the Dark Souls, Soulsborne games, you can get through. I know this because I've spoken to people. First off is Cuphead. Now I know I can kind of just feel the mini hate from some people, because I know people just don't like Cuphead. Other people absolutely love it, but because this is so drastically different from the Soulsborne series, and its difficulty is absolutely rock solid but fair, that's why it's in this. You know, the game is a beautiful game to look at. You know, you have that 1930s cartoon style. I'm gonna stop doing that. So yeah, Cuphead, amazing game, beautiful to look at, handcrafted in every sense of the word. Literally, people hand drew this entire game, and they made a really cool little story. I say cool as a very simple little story, where you play Cuphead or Mugman, depending if you're playing multiplayer or not, and you've got to get contracts that the devil has put out for people, and you've got to get the souls sent to the devil, or you will sell your soul to the devil, or gamble your soul away to the devil. It's a very, very cool game. It's very much shooting, but the thing that makes it difficult is the fact you've got to learn these patterns. If you don't know, you're going to go in, you're going to get killed a lot. I've completed this game, not on its hardest difficulty setting, but I died well over 2,000 times. For me, that would normally be frustrating, but I did find myself just kind of like, okay, cool. There was a progression bar at the end of it, which really helped me go, do you know what, I nearly got it, so I'm going to keep on going. The second game I'm going to talk about for pure difficulty, and just got some cool combat to it as well, and a really cool story, is Dishwasher Dead Samurai. You literally play a dead samurai who was a dishwasher, essentially, but you've got to... I don't really remember why you've got to do any of this. This game was just so hard, and I really struggled with it. You have to learn how to use the dishwasher to kill everybody that's in your way, so you got to get through, and you basically, it's an amazing looking game. It's black and white, it has loads of red in it because there's loads of blood. There's some really cool mechanics in there as well. There's kind of a Guitar Hero mechanic in there at one point, which is pretty fun. But you have to know how to dodge, how to parry, how to jump, get out of the way of things, learn the enemy patterns as well as you go through the game. It's a really solid game, and no one ever talks about it. But Dishwasher Dead Samurai has the most metal soundtrack to it as well. So if you enjoy that kind of thing, enjoy difficulty, learning patterns, again, this is the game for you, having that patience. But finally, the game I think, if you like Dark Souls, you should be playing this, is the Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Ghouls and Goblins, or the Ghouls and Goblins games, where you play Sir Arthur to save the princess from the big bad, and you've got to start. This game is flipping hard, man. I've been playing this game since I was a kid, since I was probably about 8. I've never got past the 3rd level, which I think is a spinning tower. I might be confusing that a little bit, but I've never got past the 3rd level, and the reason being is because, well, I was a kid, I didn't have the attention span, and then the N64 came out, so I just stopped playing it. But this game is really hard. I've gone back to it a few times, and some people say it's broken. It truly isn't broken. You just have to pay attention and be patient, be really patient with it. You got just a few hits, that's it. If you get your normal armor, you got 1 hit, then you're down to your boxes, and you're dead. If you have a green armor, it's 2 hits, you get the idea. Certain armors give you certain amounts of hits. But you've got to throw your javelins or your flame torches, and you've got to basically have to deal with an entire barrage of enemies at once. Zombies, skeletons, floating skulls, wolves, bats, everything is coming at you at once, as well as you've got to do precise platforming throughout. Again, this game is on the SNES and NES adaptations, and you just absolutely should play this game. It's an amazing game that really messes with you at the end if you get through to the end as well. Again, I don't know personally, I have seen it, I've been told about this, and I know if I got to that point I would be really, really annoyed. But play that game, absolutely 100% play that game. So I'm not going to be talking about it anymore, it's the rest of this video. Just don't forget to let us know what you think down in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe and all that. So guys, have yourself a great day, and be nice to each other, yeah?